This week's Four Questions Journalist Spotlight is brought to you by Leff's Atlanta Media, Atlanta's best journalist database. Subscribe at leffsatlantamedia.com.
Welcome to the next edition, the next episode of our Four Questions Journalist Spotlight. Today we are talking with Julia Boyd, who is the new executive director of the Atlanta Press Club. Good afternoon, Julia.
Hi, Mitch. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you and I have been talking for months, and we decided that this was the right time to do it because we just got through 3 days of debates over, 15, 16 debates? How many did we do?
We had 16. Yeah. Amazing.
So now you've had a day or two to, we can talk about you and everything the press club's got going on.
Sounds good.
But let me start with, give me a little bit of background about you and what the road was that brought you to the Atlanta Press Club.
Sure. So I've been with the Atlanta Press Club since June, so about 4 or 5 months now. So yeah, this is a nice time kind of after debates, and I've been with the club for a little bit to have this chat. So I'm originally from Atlanta, born and raised, and so that was certainly something that interested me and the Atlanta Press Club, as it's so impactful in the Atlanta community and really has such a strong board and strong membership. And so when I was kind of looking, going through the process, the Atlanta Press Club was certainly something that I was intrigued by. But I have a background in association management or nonprofit management. The Atlanta Press Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I've spent the last 12 and a half years of my career at another association, Professional Photographers of America, or PPA, was actually established in 1869. I mean, it's an extremely old association for professional photographers. We have about 35,000 photographers, nationally, international. So it's a very large membership association. And I was the director of certification there for 12 and a half years. So I handled all of our professional credentialing and, education. We had a huge national conference every year. So I've really spent the last decade plus in the association world. I have my certified association executive credential through ASAE, which is the National Association of Associations. And I'm also very active in the Georgia chapter of GSAE and have served on their board. Right now I'm serving on their foundation. So I just love the kind of nonprofit association community, and the Atlanta Press Club has been a really good fit.
So needless to say, if anybody needs a photographer anywhere in the country, they should talk to you.
Yeah, sure. Hit me up.
You probably know photographers everywhere, right?
I do. Yeah. I mean, it was, it was really fun too. While I was in the interview process with APC, there are certain crossovers between, professional photographers and journalists and media. I mean, they're all super passionate about what they do. And there's that certain kind of creative spin to the profession.
Yeah, I'm always the backup photographer for the press club debates. If no one else can cover it, then hey, Mitch, can you go get a couple of pictures?
I mean, if you have an iPhone,
I know I have a decent camera, and I'm not too bad. And as I tell people, I'm a work in progress with my photography. So I sat down with John Glenn, who's a great photographer, a couple of years ago. I said, okay, what am I doing wrong here? He said, well, first of all, you got the wrong this camera. No. So John gave me some great tips to kind of get me on the road. And actually, I took a evening at Emory photography class earlier in the year, which was really good. I figured out what I was doing wrong. So that's half the battle, is figuring out.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. Well, it's funny with the debates, the press club debates. There's such funky lighting in the studio. It's like blues and reds and oranges and white lights everywhere. So it's like everywhere you point the camera, your settings are a little bit different depending on where you're pointing, which is why professional photographers have like 3 cameras around their neck.
Right. There's more to it than it seems, especially kind of being in that certification world where we did testing and things like that. I mean, there's math and there's, lighting, and it's a lot going on.
All right. So let's talk about the press club a little bit. So give us a kind of a, the minute long. Okay, what is the Atlanta Press Club? Who are the members? How many members are there? And what does the
Yeah.
Press Club do?
What's our elevator pitch?
Yeah.
So APC's mission is to serve the evolving social, professional, and educational needs of our media community, foster journalistic excellence, and then also educate the public on, the need and importance of a free press. So, it's kind of three-pronged, but our membership mainly consists of working journalists. We do have, and they make up about 60% of our 500-person membership. We do have a lot of different membership tiers, of course, that journalist bucket, but we also have author, educator, retired, student, and then an associate member, which would be more of your PR, yeah, exactly, PR or comms kind of specialist. So there's really room for everyone. And, we really are into, and what we're focusing on right now is trying to get back to those in-person events. I think APC is really known for our Newsmaker series, which is, kind of throughout the year where we bring in different, either the corporate or political speakers to talk on a key issue that might be affecting Atlanta, or it might be national news. And so that's something that we're really getting back to. We actually also did a recent member survey, and two really important things that our members indicated to us were the need to get back to those in-person events for networking and professional development. So that's really something that we'll be working on, in 2023 and beyond, is to provide those really engaging, interactive in-person events while still supplying some online content for those that, want to do via Zoom. Also, you have that reach, with the online presence. And so we certainly have some in-person events coming up, including our Hall of Fame event, which will be November 10th, where we induct 6 actually journalists this year into our prestigious Hall of Fame. All that information can be found on atlantapressclub.org, but really the club is focused on, creating a presence and a home for Atlanta's burgeoning, media community. And whether that's, national journalists coming down to Atlanta to cover a story, or those that are in the metro area. But we really provide, a home base for all those.
Yeah, I mean, and Atlanta is a little bit unusual since we are number 7, 8 media market right now. I mean,
Yeah.
and we're home to CNN and the
Right.
Weather Channel, and
Mhm.
I mean, almost every national network has at least one person here, if not
Yeah.
a pretty large bureau. And then the network bureaus they serve the region, but we've got national correspondents for the networks that travel all around the country, covering stories they just kind of are they're based here, which is always funny because I'll talk to you. Hey, I know you're the Atlanta-based CBS reporter. He's like, yeah, but I'm never in Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good luck finding me in Atlanta, right?
Right. And Atlanta can be tricky. It's a huge city, but a small town. And so that's really something that we want to, kind of tell members or non-members, is that, you can have a home with APC. And that's really something that's, fun. And you've been to a lot of our member mixers. We'll have one coming up in a few months now, is, you get to meet other professionals in the industry. And something that, was really relevant at our last one was, a lot of people coming out of this, COVID journey saying, I moved to Atlanta right in the middle of this, and I haven't really met anybody. And, I really want to get to know some of my peers. So we love providing those opportunities.
I think, do we have a member mixer next week?
We do. We have one next Wednesday, October 26th at Red's Brewery, which is down kind of Grant Park.
Yep.
I hope you're coming.
I'll be. Yeah, I'm registered.
I bet you're already registered. Yeah,
I'm registered. I think I'm carpooling about 5 of my friends. So
perfect.
Some of them may be hanging on to the back door, trying to
pile them in.
It's going to be a clown car getting out at the party. Yeah. So we've got the mixer, and then we've got Hall of Fame on the when is it? Is it
on the 10th, November 10th?
10th. Okay. Anything else coming up? Any big events coming up this
year? We are working on a holiday mixer that will also be tied in with some professional development programming. So we're not quite finalized on it yet, but it'll be a program and then go into the mixer at the gathering spot, hopefully mid-December. So we'll be getting information out about that as soon as we're finalized.
It's funny. The press club used to be famous for its holiday book party.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had
So
all the local journalists would show up with
yeah,
their and sell their books,
yeah,
of which there are many. And I guess we kind of felt like at some point that had kind of run its course, and people were like, okay, we want to do something different.
yeah, yeah. So we'll be doing something that kind of has like a educational aspect, and then kind of stick around and socialize for a bit.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
Um, so we got through the debates. I think are we if we get runoffs, are we going to have runoff debates too?
We will. So our APC's policy is if they hold a debate in the general or in the primary, in the general election for a certain district or a certain race, we will host the runoff debate. So those would be right before Thanksgiving. And so we would get those in right before Thanksgiving. So if there's runoff debates, we certainly will be active in that.
Okay. And any other? Let's see. So that's probably the big events for the rest of this year. Anything in particular that we should get on people's radar for the first part of next year?
Yeah, and we're working on programming for 2023. We will hope to have a newsmaker probably February, and we're kind of looking at different topics for that. And then we'll probably also do something in terms of the legislative session. So that'll most likely be an online Zoom or some kind of interactive online component early in that year. So certainly stay tuned. And then of course we'll be continuing our member mixers. Probably need to go inside for January and February and March, but we'll continue those. And then we're also kind of hoping to bring back, and I think this was something that we had been doing in 2019, kind of leading up to COVID, is some more of those casual nighttime programs, but that are educational based. So, you can grab a beer or a cocktail or a Coke and kind of listen to a 30, 45 minute educational topic, a panel or a person, talking about something specific or relevant to the industry. So we're going to be looking to bring those back as well.
Yeah, I know the press club for years has done kind of that legislative
thing.
And I think the last couple of times it was a breakfast. I want to say it was a breakfast.
Mm-hmm. I think it was like is it the Gold Dome kind of?
Yeah, it's like under the Gold Dome or something like that.
Yeah.
They'd have like somebody from Raul Bali from ABE, and then Greg Bluestein or somebody from the AJC. So 3 or 4 reporters who are covering the session just to talk about here are the key issues that are being focused, and that's really well attended. That they usually get a really good live in person turnout, and it's funny because you get that combination of other journalists and then lobbyists and some legislators. So it's a different kind of group attendance for that event than it is for a lot of other events. So that's always fun to see that. And and definitely sometimes when the press go said the governor or the speaker as a speaker of the house as a speaker, that always gets a really good turnout too.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do at minimum 5 newsmakers next year, and so that'll be a mix of kind of political and then also maybe some corporate, or of course we have a lot of film industry, a lot of sports going on. Transportation is always a key issue, tech. So we're kind of finalizing some topics for next year. And also, I would always encourage anyone watching or, anyone that's a member, if you have a certain topic that you're really interested in, please always feel free to reach out. You can use that info@atlpressclub.org to email in your suggestions. We're always interested in hearing from you.
So do you feel like, the organization is the Atlanta Press Club, but are there press clubs in other Georgia cities really?
Not in other Georgia cities that I know of. That doesn't mean that they're not there. Not that I'm aware of. I actually, though, did just recently do a call with some of the other national press clubs. LA Press Club was on, Denver Press Club was on, Tulsa, Milwaukee. So, that's certainly something that we're working on to connect. And of course, then you have the National Press Club. So that's something that we're kind of working on. We've worked with LA a lot, also the Alaska Press Club recently. And for our Awards of Excellence, which is a competition, which that will also actually be opening right around the first of the year, the submissions for the Awards of Excellence. And so those, again, are it's a competition-based entry system, and we do about 16 different topics or different categories where journalists can submit the work from the past year. So that's really an exciting event that normally takes place in August, but the submissions open in January. And so we've used LA judges to judge for our competition. So yeah, there's certainly a camaraderie there between press clubs, and we can always learn from each other.
And I guess the message is also for journalists around Georgia, they're certainly welcome to take part in what the Atlanta Press Club offers. And I know for the debates, I know the debate committee made a really strong effort to have panelists and moderators from every city, every major market in Georgia as part of those debates.
Absolutely. So and actually, and that's one of the membership levels as an affiliate. And that would be a journalist based in Georgia, but not in Atlanta. So we certainly welcome those members as well.
Yeah, so you pay a little bit less, but you can
get a little price break.
and that's the beauty of having some virtual options too, is that they can participate too. All right, so let's do this is so there's the business part. Let's do the fun goofy part now. So this is kind of the lightning round, so you don't have to get into huge detail, but tell us something fun or cool and different about you, about Julia, that people might not know. And this could be a hobby, it could be things you collect. Could be, your collection of ceramic pigs.
I don't know how fun or cool I am. I certainly collect things when I travel. Postcards or magnets or things like that. You can kind of see behind me. And also, something that I'm kind of trying to get back and do is I love going to see live music. So really been trying to get kind of back. Just been at the Eastern. I'm actually headed to the Eastern on Saturday to see a show, which is a great new venue. So I've been loving that. I'm, as a native Atlantan, and then, kind of still loving the just everything that Atlanta has to offer. So from the restaurants to the Beltline to things like that. So I really love to get out in the area and take advantage.
Okay. All right. So last book, this just quick short answers to these. So last book you've read or the last podcast you listened to?
Well, I'm a big reader, but I normally just read easy fiction. But I also love the Smart List podcast. So I just listen to one that had Anderson Cooper on. And so I love the Smart List. They're super funny. It's Will Arnett and Sean Hayes and Jason Bateman. And it just, makes you laugh and you learn some funny things.
Okay. Favorite local restaurant?
I love Jalisco's. Mexican restaurant, right?
Where's that?
It's in the Peachtree Battle Shopping Center, and it's just this little Mexican spot. But grew up going there, and it's always a favorite.
Okay. Favorite guilty pleasure?
Red wine.
Red wine. Okay. All right. What's a local getaway that you like? It could be Atlanta or statewide.
Okay. North Georgia, I'm lucky. My family's had a cabin up in North Georgia, actually since before I was born, on Lake Burton. So lucky enough to kind of get up and get away. Was there a couple weekends ago, and it was, turning fall, beautiful up there. So. Okay.
And your favorite non-work hobby, if there is such a thing?
Right. I've recently gotten into pickleball, which is really fun. I used to play tennis, growing up, but now I think in my older age, pickleball is probably a little bit more my speed. So I have a group of friends, and we love to go out and do that. And the weather's been great for it recently.
Okay. That's cool. So anything else about the press club that we forgot to talk about? I guess I will remind folks that, AtlantaPressClub.org is the website address. And since we are in election season, I really, really encourage people, if you haven't voted yet, go watch the debates. They're streamed, they're taped, they're archived on the Press Club site. So you can see all 16 of the ones we did this week. And you can see the governor debates and the Senate debates and your congressional districts, if they had elections, and Senate debates, and school superintendent, insurance commissioner, agriculture.
We really had
governor.
Great ones. Yeah. We had a lot of the districts, and they were really, really great. You can find them all on demand on the APC website, or our Facebook page, or GPB, who is our partner.
Yeah. So there are some of them, if there was only one person and their opponent didn't show up, they're 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If there were two people, they're 30 minutes. There's a couple that are that are 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I would suggest, if you don't want to watch them, then listen while you're going to the gym, listen while you're in the car commuting, listen while you're typing something else at work. But this is no better way to get to know the candidates
Really.
than to listen to these debates and hear where they stand on positions. And you'll see the people who showed up for the debates, and you can see who didn't show up, and you can make a really informed decision on who you should vote for based on hearing them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and all that. Yeah, all the debates on atlantapressclub.org, and then also all of our upcoming events, the member mixers, which really anyone is welcome to, so you don't have to be a member to come, and those are free. Our Hall of Fame event, which will be in November, and then as soon as we drop that information on our holiday event, that'll be there, as well as all the events that'll be coming up in 2023. And yeah, we're really focusing on getting back to more in-person events and just providing that networking and professional development opportunities for our members, and just really for the Atlanta, media community.
Excellent. We've been talking with Julia Boyd, who is the new executive director of the Atlanta Press Club. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
As always, look for our archives of podcasts going back a couple of years, and you can see them mostly in audio and or video format, whichever one you like. And if you're looking for our database of Atlanta media, go to leffsatlantamedia.com. If you're a journalist looking for sources for stories you're working on, go to mitchesmediamatch.com, and you'll find sources there. Or do what you always do and just shoot me an email or give me a call. That works too. So for this week, thank you, and we'll see you soon.